Hello, the topic of today's GIS talk is starting at the beginning and not at the end. So what am I talking about here with GIS? I'm really talking about the fact that many organisations, and the industry is in large part to blame for this, start at the end of the story and don't really consider the path to the end point. What am I talking about here? We all see really clever demos that are shown to us about new GIS technology and these clever applications. We read things like self-service and terminology like this. It implies that GIS is just this easy to set up thing that we don't really need a great deal of expertise or thought about. It's just kind of there, magically there. We work with two groups of customers. One group are within the GIS, the traditional GIS space as I often describe it. They're organisations that have GIS, and what they're trying to do is get maximum return on investment out of their GIS. So they come to us with questions around how they can best implement it or implement it across different departments. So as a good example, local government, they have lots of different departments and they may have a GIS in-house, they may have GIS expertise in-house, but how do they bring GIS to the fore in each of those different departments and maximise their investment? That's often a question of lack of time. That's often a question of lack of experience with WebGIS as well. So we work a lot with those types of organisations. In the non-traditional sector, it's really all about how do we get started. We don't know this technology. We have a suspicion that it could help us, but we're trying to weigh up what it can do for us. There's really a value question there right out of the gate. Is there a value to us investing in GIS? And actually I was on a really interesting call last week which was a supply chain, a GIS and supply chain call. Somebody asked a question on this call and said, is it easy to get started with GIS as an organisation that really know nothing about it? The two answers that came back were fascinating. The first one was from Cisco actually, who said, if you're going to invest in a GIS, understand up front the actual value it brings to your organisation. Weigh it up. It's hard to weigh up a GIS if you don't understand a GIS. That's a question we're often asked. We actually help organisations understand the technology and how it might plug into what they're trying to do. The other answer that came out of that question was how easy is it to get started with GIS? One of the speakers said, you'll very quickly get lost in GIS unless you have GIS expertise. And it's very, very true, and it's something I've spoken about in other videos, that if you don't have GIS in-house, it isn't this simple plug and play thing. It's a complex technology. You can understand it over time, but it's complex. So how do we approach when we interact with these different groups? Well, we basically ask three fundamental questions. We ask firstly, where are you today? Secondly, where do you want to be tomorrow? And third and most importantly, let's talk through the story, how we're going to get from today to tomorrow and what that might look like. And that third step is crucial. So that path is something we all have to understand, whether we've got GIS in-house or whether we're new to GIS. Too often we start at that end point. We want to be there, and we forget that we need to have the starting point and the path to get there as part of our process of planning and how we implement things. And again, it's all about answering that where question, so we can focus, we can implement, and we can move from there and spread it to other parts of the organisation. But I fear that the industry is leading organisations into a place where you start at the end and not the beginning. And my point is, we've always got to start at the beginning. We have a discovery workshop, which we actually used to charge for, but it's free now because it's become very popular. We spend an hour with anyone that's interested in GIS, and we basically cover those three questions. And we walk through where you are, where you'd like to be, and what that path to that end point looks like. So if you're interested, and again, it is a completely free workshop, please get in touch with WEBMAPSOLUTIONS.com and we'll be happy to set something up for you. Thanks for watching.